Hello, my name is Margaret Adele, and welcome to the first installment of Books on My Radar, a list series where I just talk about books that have caught my eye, but I haven't added them to my TBR yet. However, I still want to talk about them. I got the idea for this from Lisa Does Life. She is another booktuber reading indie books. We are both on the same Indie Accords Discord server. I will definitely have a link to her channel linked down below. But in general, I like this idea because I am still under my TBR challenge. I did not take 300 books off my own TBR in 1 year just to let it explode again. So I am being very, very careful with how I take in books. Most of the time, if it's not a review book that I am directly saying yes or no to, it goes on lists. I have a lot of lists. I have lists for future TBRs and videos that I want to do in the future, which you will see some of these from. I also have lists of books that just kind of sound interesting, but not so interesting that I'm willing to take up one of my precious slots in my TBR challenge for. So that's what we're going to talk about here. This is also going to be kind of an unofficial part 2 to my anticipated reads for the year video, because I did discover a couple more coming out this year that I'm interested in, but I didn't want to do like an entire part 2 of anticipated reads for like 2 books. So we're just tagging them in here, and hopefully if these stay stuck in my brain or I go through making the list videos, I will eventually get all these. But for right now, they're just books I'm looking at. So that begs the question, what books am I looking at? First up is a book that I have earmarked for my Books for the Girlies with Religious Trauma list. I'm sure that'll be chill. And that is Render to Silver by Catherine Labadie. This is a fantasy book all about a woman who is in this world's version of nunnery. She is a fount or a nun, and she's over it. And she's been working her way up through the ranks for the express purpose of escaping the entire thing. However, she catches the eye of a priest in that same religion after she works a miracle by accident, and he recruits her into his revival. He wants to turn the religion back to what it should be, away from all the greed and ambition, and she is his reluctant helper because she can't admit that she wants to escape. So I am expecting a lot of vibes on deconstruction and can organized religion work at all, like those kind of things. I am a former pastor's kid. My father was a legally ordained American Baptist reverend. Fun. And I already love a lot of the other books that I have on that list. I think I have 1 or 2 others beyond this one that I have earmarked for that list. But this is the one that I'm most interested on because I just prefer a lot of the religious trauma stuff when it's kind of a couple degrees of separation from the real world. And I also like the idea of looking at organized religion as a whole. Like, can it be saved at all? I am a little nervous that it's going to do the whole, oh yes, just work harder and you can save the corrupt system. But I'll give the author the benefit of the doubt and reserve judgment for actually reading it. Technically, I probably could have gotten a review copy of this if I wanted. It doesn't come out until March, I believe. The author and I are mutuals on Twitter. I believe they had offered ARCs on Twitter before, and I avoided it because my review list is exploding. For reference, I've already reviewed 6 books in January, and my review list is still not in single digits. So I was like, nope, we're going to wait a little bit longer. I can wait until March for it to come out, and I'll just have it be like the last book I read before I film that video and get that video out sometime. Actually, it'd be really cool if I could get that video out around Easter, now that I think about it. But I am really excited for this one, even as much as I'm nervous. But I'm the one that decided to make a list video all about religious trauma, so I guess that's on me. Up next is a book earmarked for my monster romance list. I'm hoping to get the second video out sometime in 2023. And in all honesty, I could probably do like 5 of these on my radar videos on monster romances alone because my list is so big. But I'll be a good kid. We'll leave it to this one for this time. And that is The Prince of Broken Toys by Michelle Demos. This is a monster romance set in the world where everyone is a toy, some kind of doll or figurine, and our protagonist is this dancing doll, but she has this weird mutation where her non-human body is beginning to turn fleshy, and everyone's creeped out by this, and she basically needs help learning how to dance beautifully enough to distract from that fact. And so when our titular prince comes up, she asks him for help, and apparently things also turn really kinky. I mean, she's literally wearing a bridle on the cover, but there's also the, you know, he's so broken from everyone that's hurt him before, can he learn to love type of thing. But mostly I'm just really invested in the vibes of this one because it's coming out in December. It's very clearly meant to have a creepy kind of nutcracker aesthetic, and I just love that everyone in this world is like a toy, essentially. I love that concept, and this one I actually probably will be trying to go for an arc of. The author is currently offering arcs of other books that they have coming out this summer, and I thought about it, but I'm like, no, I gotta, again, that review list is so, I gotta pick my battles very carefully. So I'm probably still gonna read the author's other work, but it's only this one that I'm gonna go for an arc for, at least for right now. Maybe I'll really just knock it out of the park with reviews and have a ton more space. But for right now, I'm not that. I don't have that. But I do have a whole lot of interest in this Nutcracker-esque monster romance. The next slot on our list is actually 2 books, but they both have a similar vibe, and that is Lesbians at Sea. And me being interested in lesbians at sea? Psh, what? Anyhoozle, next up is Uncharted by Allie Temple. This is all about a pirate captain who kidnaps what she thinks would be a very unwilling princess, only JK, turns out the princess doesn't really like her life currently. She was forced to accept a prince's proposal for reasons, but doesn't want to marry him. So this kidnapping actually comes at the perfect time. However, the prince is now chasing them, and also there's a pirate king involved, also chasing them. And, you know, 2 sapphics at sea, trying to outrun the loser dudes chasing after them. I can get behind that. That sounds like a good time. And also, you know, some consensual kidnapping, always nice. The second book in this slot is A Song of Silver and Gold by Mel Caribbean. This is published by Hanson House, which I recently discovered is an indie publishing house that specializes in queer stories of a variety of genres, and I am intrigued. But this one is more enemies to lovers, where again we have our female pirate captain, yay, only she attacked some sirens, and the siren princess died, and then another siren that was the reason the siren princess was killed by the pirate captain is in banishment, and the only way that she can essentially restore her good name is by getting a spell, Little Mermaid style, becoming human and killing the pirate captain. But wouldn't you know it, once she infiltrates the pirate captain's crew with the intent of eventually murdering her, feelings begin to develop. Who would have expected that? So that is definitely more enemies to lovers. I love the angst of I have to kill you for reasons, but also I love you. Just perfect pining. Sapphic pining at sea is great in all its forms. I would also love to find more books. Currently, these are the only 2 beyond the short story collection that I am published in that really fall under Sapphics at Sea. But I would love to do a list of that. So I might have other books in future on my radar videos. And if you know of any, please let me know down in the comments below. I always, always, always need more of them. This last book came up when I was talking about needing recommendations for the sequel to my neurodivergence and disability and genre fiction list, hoping to get that sequel out sometime in 2023. But that is Home Within Skin by Gem Zero. This is a sci-fi romance all about a future Earth where aliens have basically come to live as refugees, and our human trans disabled protagonist stumbles into a hotel because they are homeless looking for shelter, and accidentally stumble into an alien sex worker about to film a porno and decides to agree to it and stumbles into a porno. And I loved that really weird concept. I also love books that have sex work as a representation, and of course we got your trans, we got your disabled rep. Looks like the author does a lot of work like this with things like disability rep and trans rep and more kitschy speculative romances, which I have discovered I love all of those things. So this is really good and I have it on my list, and this is again one of those where once the reviews have chilled out for a second and I've just been really going hard, or maybe one of the rare months when I put my TBR on hold, like the TBR challenge, I will probably end up getting it. But for right now, I really got to be a good kid and read the books that I already have. And that is it for now. Theoretically, again, I could do so many of these. I have an actual spreadsheet of my TBRs for the various list videos I want to do, and there's like so many books on there. But these are the ones that have been sticking in my mind the most, and I don't necessarily want to do a bunch of these on my radar videos for books that I'm not super sure I'm actually going to end up buying, because I am willing to bet that some of the books on my list I probably won't buy, because that's the point. I'm trying to be very picky with what I add to my TBR. And I know some people might find it strange that I'm organizing all of my book buying through lists, but again, there's a lot of good books out there, and this helps me keep it organized and keeps me from getting overwhelmed or letting my TBR explode. Now, I do plan on pausing my TBR challenge in April, purely because that's my birthday month and I get like gift cards and stuff. So that would make the most sense to let myself go on a little bit of a buying spree. So who knows, maybe a lot of these books will get purchased by then. But also be able to look out for future videos, the neurodivergence and disability video, the monster romance video, the religious trauma video, all of those will hopefully be coming soon this year. They're all longish, or at least they all have several books that I have yet to read for them. So I gotta get to work on that, and gotta get to work on all the review books. It's really good that I've been feeling so energized about reading lately, because I'm gonna need it. Thank you again to Lisa for the idea. Love all the people at the Indie Accords Discord server. It's a lot of fun. And do you have any books on your radar currently? Are there any books you've been eyeing but haven't quite made the plunge to purchase it yet? Let me know. I would love to hear about them. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.